Hey guys, welcome to lesson 2. This week we're talking about half steps, whole steps, and accidentals. A half step is the shortest possible distance between two notes in music. Another way to think about it is that it's the distance between one note and the note right next to it on the piano keyboard. So for instance, if we start on G and we want to go up one half step, we need to find the note that's right next to G and it's on the right hand side. So here's G and the note closest to it on the right hand side is this black note. If we wanted to go down a half step from G, then we would want to find the note that's closest to it on the left hand side, which would be this black key. So here's G. And here's the note closest to it on the left-hand side. A half step is often indicated with a triangle bracket, like this. It can also be indicated with a capital H. I usually like to use both in combination just to make everything super clear for myself. And that's what I recommend you would do as well. Two halves make a whole in life and math and also in music. So a whole step is going to be the same as the distance of two half steps. So let's start on G again. And we want to go up a whole step. So first we have to go up by one half step. And then up one more half step from there. So G to A is a whole step. We usually indicate a whole step with a square bracket like this. And I like to add the capital W for whole. Now let's practice going down a whole step from G. So first we need to go down one half step. And then down one more half step from there. G to F is down a whole step. So far we've only talked about how to notate the white keys on the piano keyboard because they're just regular A, B, C, D, etc. In order to notate the black keys, we're going to have to use accidentals. There are 3 different accidentals that each tell you to do something specific with the note. They are sharp, flat, and natural. This is not a hashtag. It is in fact a sharp. A sharp tells you to go up one half step. So if you saw this in your music, instead of playing A, you'd want to play the note that's one half step above A, or A sharp. This is a flat sign. A flat tells you to go down one half step. So if you saw this in your music, instead of playing B, you'd want to play the note one half step below B, or B flat. You may have noticed that we just gave this same black key 2 different names, one that used a sharp and one that used a flat. Every black key is actually going to have 2 different names. One name is going to use a sharp and one name is going to use a flat. Ta-da! This is a natural sign. A natural undoes a sharp or a flat. So if you saw this in your music, the first note would be played A flat, but then the second note would be played regular old A, or A natural. Notice that no matter what kind of accidental I'm writing, it's always before the note it affects. It's also always going to be on the same line or space as that note. So see, this is A sharp and it's on the same space as the A. This is E flat and it's on the same line as the E. That even applies down here where we have a ledger line. This is B flat and that flat is below that ledger line. You'll see accidentals in 2 places in your music. The first place is in the key signature. So let's talk about that first. A key signature tells us that an accidental is going to apply throughout an entire piece. So this is the key signature right here. It's always going to be at the beginning of every single line, and at the very beginning of the piece it's going to come before the time signature. This is the time signature. So this key signature here has one sharp, and it's on the top line in treble clef, which means it's an F sharp. And what this tells us is that anytime we see an F in this piece, no matter which octave it's in, instead of playing regular F, we're going to play or sing F sharp. Here we have a musical example that has a key signature. Our key signature has two flats, and those are B flat and E flat. So what does that mean? It means that every time we see a B, like these two notes, we actually need to play B flat, not B natural. Same thing if we saw any E in this music, instead of playing E natural, we'd need to play E flat. So here's what this example should sound like if I play all the right notes. But here's what it would sound like if instead of playing B flat like I'm supposed to, I play B natural. Super gross, and that's why we have to pay attention to key signatures. The other place that you're going to see accidentals is sort of scattered through your music. And if a composer is nice to you, you won't see too many, but it's important to know how to interpret them when you do see them. When you encounter an accidental in the music that's not part of the key signature, it's going to last for one measure or until it gets corrected or canceled out by another accidental. So what that means is that this A flat is going to apply to all of the A's in this measure. But then we have a bar line here, and that's like the reset button. So now this one goes back to just regular A natural. And then we have another flat here. So that's going to be A flat, and it's going to apply to this note as well. But then, whoops, we've got a natural. So even though this is before the end of the measure, we have another accidental, and so that's going to cancel out the earlier flat, and this note is going to be A natural. Ta-da! So now let's put everything we've learned into our homework. Take a look at handout 2, part A, and also take out a piano keyboard because we're going to be referring to that. Take a look at number 1. The first step when we're answering these questions is just to name the two notes. So first we have F, and then we have G. The second step is to find those two notes on our piano keyboard. So here's F, and here's G. Now we need to decide whether it's a whole step or a half step. And in order to do that, we're going to count how many half steps it takes to get from our first note to our second note. So we have 1, 2. 2 half steps make a whole step. So this is a whole step. And we're going to write an uppercase W to indicate that. Now let's take a look at number 2. This time we have accidentals, and we're also in bass clef, so we need to keep that in mind as we're naming our notes. So this is an F, but it's not just regular old F, it's F sharp, and this is G. So now we need to find those two notes on our piano keyboard. So here's F sharp, and here's G. And now we're going to count our half steps from our bottom note to our top note, and we have just 1. So that makes this question a half step, and we're going to write a capital H to indicate that. So that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I would love to answer any questions you have. You can either comment below or you can send me an email, and I will see you next time. Bye!